Hi, I'm Simone Sterling. I'm a senior at Jackson, and I wanted to share how I found my relationship with God.
So as you came into high school, what was your background with God, and what were you like growing up?
Well, growing up, I lived in Chicago, and I used to go to church all the time with my parents, partly because they wanted me to go. And then we moved to Mill Creek in 5th grade, and we started going to a Presbyterian church. And I kind of just went just because my parents made me. As high school hit, things changed. I didn't really go to church going into my sophomore year. My mom got cancer, so it was more important to focus on her rather than even learning about God or Jesus. And I started doing more bad things. I felt like my friends were starting to do it, so I wanted to be in a relationship with them. So I felt that was the best way to keep knowing about my friends. So my whole sophomore year was kind of a bad time, and I was getting in trouble a lot and things just weren't going well. And on the last day of school was probably one of the worst days for me. I got in a lot of trouble, and definitely a change in how I lived from then on, because I was grounded for a lot of my whole year, and my summer was pretty much me and myself and my family in my house. Through sophomore year, I was introduced to Young Life because of Chelsea, and she was really persistent with me. She kept nagging me to go in one of my classes, and I was like, who is this girl? Like, why does she keep talking to me? I was like, she needs to stop. And finally I just gave up and I said, okay. From there, I went to La Pomera with all of them, and I met Natalie, who I thought was a high school student, but apparently she wasn't. She was our leader. So from then, I was going to their campaigners groups instead of the big Young Life meetings, and it was kind of cool to get to know girls that just were fun to be around, and we were learning about God and Jesus, but at that same time, I just wasn't very into it. I just wanted to be with people that were good.
You said the last day of school was one of your worst days ever. What led up to that? Where was your heart at? What was your attitude, maybe freshman year, sophomore year, leading up to that time?
When my mom had cancer, I kind of just wanted to take away, not deal with the problems. I'd always get caught in the lies and get in trouble. And it kind of just got progressively worse as the year went on. And I was just getting caught up in more and more stuff and didn't really care and wanted to rebel against my parents. And it was just the easy way, you feel cool doing it, and nothing was really in my heart. I honestly, I don't think I had any feelings other than, dang it, I got caught again. And from there it was kind of walk her down, because there's nothing you can really do about it.
So from that point, what did it take for you to get to go to Malibu? And obviously you went, but were you excited to go?
From there, my mom tried to get the deposit back and called the office. And so it took a little while, and Natalie called my house, and it was just a long process of my mom and dad trying to make sure that everything was okay to go. And finally they were convinced by the Young Life leaders and people around them that it was okay to go and that they could trust me there. I just was not looking forward to it. I just wanted to stay at home. I just didn't want to see anyone that whole summer. I just felt like my life was falling apart, and I didn't want to be around anyone.
So what was the turning point at Malibu? How did things end up, and what changed it?
My turning point was kind of on the third to last day, kind of started to kind of think about him, but not really. And then on the second day before I left, I wanted to go water skiing with Victoria, and we got on the boat, and Victoria was able to get up perfectly fine. It took me 5 or 6 times, and on the last time, this was my last time to get up, the guy told me, and I was like, why me? It was kind of like my final crashing point. I was like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Everything I fail at, I'm no good. And then in the back of my mind, I heard this voice, and it was you have to trust in me, in order to have good things happen and be with me and trust in me. And I think that was God just telling me if you put trust in me, things will happen. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll pray and see what happens. And I finally, that time I got up, and I was like, oh my gosh, And from that thing, I think like from that experience, I feel like he was trying to just tell me, like, if you put trust in me, things will go all right. Like, no matter what happens, like, I'm always going to be there for you. And on the last night, they have a say-so, which is when you stand up and you say if you just learned about God and you want to follow on the path, or you want to recommit yourself, or you're committing yourself to God. And I definitely felt like I wanted to commit myself to God, so I stood up, and it was just like that whole week was just like the most exciting part of my life. It was just like finding out who he was.
So what happened when you got home from Malibu?
I had to figure out a way to keep pursuing my relationship with God and getting closer to him. And luckily I had Chelsea and Victoria and all of them, and they invited me to go to Mill Creek Foursquare, which was really exciting because I actually went there and wanted to be at church instead of going to church and not wanting to be there. And I really liked the pastors there, Phil and Emily, and Megan Forbes was there. I was just wanting to be in the presence of God, and I figured like the best way for me to keep doing that was to keep going to church. So I was going 4 days a week. Through that time, my relationship with God and Jesus just kept growing and growing. So it was really exciting. And
so after Malibu in that summer, how did your junior year go?
Once I started school, it was going really well. Like, I was going to Young Life and stuff like that, and youth group, and I was just growing with my relationship with Jesus and God. And like halfway through my junior year, Natalie asked any of us if we wanted to help lead the 9th grade girls, help like as a student leader more so, because the leader needed help. And I felt like the instant reaction to say yes. The experience I had was amazing, and I wanted to give that to other people. It wasn't fair that I just got that experience, but other people should have that experience too. From then on, I've been leading and still growing in my faith with God, and it's just been an amazing experience, and I'm so excited to have a relationship that I didn't have before.
Are you surprised with how you feel about God now?
Back then, I wouldn't have thought that I would have this relationship with Jesus, but now I can say that I definitely think that this relationship is amazing, and I've just grown so much and changed so much over the last 2 years. I feel so much farther down the road than I did a year ago. It's like insane, like just having him in my heart and the overwhelming sense that he's there. And I'm so glad I've gone through the experiences and the hardships and everything, because it's just taught me and just showed me so much that I wouldn't have if I didn't go through everything.